NFL honor ceremony. Matthew Stafford won his first MVP after throwing for 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, leading the NFL in both. He's the oldest player to win his first MVP in NFL history. He's the third oldest player ever to win the award. He won the award by just 5 points over Drake Maye. So it was the closest MVP race in terms of first place votes since Peyton Manning and Steve McNair were co-MVPs in 2003. And Stafford brought his daughters up on stage to accept the award and gave us his plans for next year in the process. Listen.
You're unbelievable cheerleaders for me. I appreciate it. I am so happy to have you at the games on the sideline with me, and I can't wait for you to cheer me on next year when we're out there kicking ass. And so I'll see you guys next year. Hopefully I'm not at this event, and we're getting ready for another game in SoFi. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
All right, Matthew, that's the way to announce it.
That's cool.
McVay cry. You see McVay? Yes. I'm coming back too.
McVay was the first one standing up.
Just got that extension too. Tell you what, next time you curse in front of the kids, you got to say earmuffs. That's all you got to say. Earmuffs. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, did we get it right? Did the right man win the MVP award?
Most definitely. You look at the Los Angeles Rams, they played in the toughest division, the NFC West. Look at Matt Stafford's numbers versus the Seattle Seahawks defense. 961 yards, 8 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. He averaged 320 passing yards versus that defense. He was first in passing yards in the NFL and first in touchdowns and top 5 in just about every other category. So I agree with Matthew Stafford winning MVP of the league.
Jeff.
No, they did not. I would have went Drake Maye here. And listen, I understand like the Lifetime Achievement Award of Matt Stafford. He's unbelievable, played a great season. All those things were great. And you're going to talk to me about touchdowns and what he did against the Seahawks. He played 3 times. He knows the division very well. All that's good. Let's set up. In fact, Matt, bring up B14 for me. Bring up B14 for me. This is common opponents, Harry. Maye 6-0, Stafford 4-2. Maye 84-74 QBR. Is that a 20-plus point difference in QBR? Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Everybody gives me TDs. Everybody gives it. By the way, he has more yards in total than Matt Stafford because he also uses his legs. Is it more difficult to try to stop somebody who can run and pass or just pass? Just answer. Okay,
honestly. Yes or no, Your Honor.
Yes.
I would say it's harder to go against somebody that's a dual threat.
Drake Maye has done that. And by the way, put all this in bow, put a little bow. He did it with less. He ain't got Puka, and he ain't got Devontae Adams, and he dang sure ain't got 12-plus 1-yard touchdowns. Hand that thing off 6 times. This is a totally different conversation.
May has a defense that's better.
Hold on, so disrespectful though because
it is not.
You're so spoiled. You got 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. You know how hard it is to score, period, let alone to score
one. My back hurts from carrying 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I still got back issues from it. You know what I mean? Ask Rodgers and Manning. Both my back is still sore.
We were this
that's because you were carrying a wallet. That's all.
This argument was going on during the break. Tell the story about when you got a turnover on the 10-yard line.
Yeah, listen, we got a turnover on the 10-yard line. We punted in Baltimore. You better stop. You understand the type of quarterbacks I played with? I got a list of the worst quarterbacks in the history of football. You want to talk about how hard it is to throw
on the 10-yard line and punt?
He did.
There's one game and you need a quarterback to take you to the promised land. You taking Drake Maye over Matthew Stafford?
Drake right now?
Come
Drake
on,
Maye.
no. Hail to the no.
Get offset.
First of all,
get offset.
First of all, you should see Jeff. As soon as you hit him with the numbers against Seattle, he got the right.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I'm like, nah.
Listen, Drake Maye went against basically the Atlantic Coastal Conference, right? He get the Jets in Miami twice.
Why you got?
Did you miss common opponents?
Yeah, but how many of those did they have a backup quarterback at that time?
Oh my word!
I'm not sure how we've decided we're going to judge their seasons based on their performances against the Panthers, Saints, Titans, Falcons, Bucks, and Ravens.
Okay,
how many of the Ravens didn't have Lamar?
Okay, so are we going to compare ones in the Super Bowl, ones at home?
Well, yeah, I mean,
so let's do that way too. Drake Maye's at the Super Bowl. It's Matt Stafford's at home taking the award.
That's a
I know you're
blow.
not doing that.
I just did it.
Okay,
he played a backup. One had to play a backup quarterback to get there.
I can't help what he had to play.
Of why the voting was as close as it was. Let me go through a couple of other awards quickly. Mike Vrabel wins Coach of the Year in his first season with the Patriots. Coached the team to 14 wins and an appearance in the Super Bowl this year after they won just 4 games a year ago. Bart, did Vrabel have the best coaching year? If they win this Super Bowl, could this be the best coaching job ever?
I think it was the best coach job. I mean, I had maybe Ben Johnson slightly. I think nobody saw the Bears winning that division and what we thought was going to be the toughest division. But listen, you know, the history is written by the winners, and he's the winner. He's in the Super Bowl, so he's deserving. If Chicago would have went a little farther, I had Ben Johnson with the harder job.
Shanahan wasn't even a finalist,
which is crazy.
and he had the whole team decimated due to
We're spoiled. We're spoiled.
Yeah,
We're used to him being
It was a great year for that award.
It's a regular season award anyway. And finally, speaking of awards that mean everything to Jeff, Joe Thuney of the Bears
Let's go.
won the inaugural Protector of the Year award, giving to the league's most outstanding lineman.
I love this. I mean, you know, what a great year for him. Again, we just talked about Chicago surprising the world. A lot of that started up front being led by Joe Thuney, who we've seen play tackle, play guard. He's a kind of do-it-all guy. He'll do whatever he can for his team. Ton of respect for the way they got. And I just love offensive linemen being awarded in front of everybody. So rarely it gets discussed and talked about, you know, in the trenches, but tip of the cap, man. So much respect for him. I like Aaron Brewer, for me, the center for the Dolphins, had a lights out year. But those guys are even getting discussed in the media and people are finding out who they are. That's what I love about it.
You were a part of getting this award put into for those who don't know, Jeff really was part of those who were campaigning for there to be such an award as well. There should be, should long have been.
No doubt.
And you're on that committee, so I'm delighted to see that they get it. Joe Thuney wins that a good night. What I don't want to do is allow the accomplishments of these 5 men to be overshadowed by those who did not join them. Congratulations to Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald
That's
and
right.
Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and Roger Craig, all of whom are richly deserving of the highest possible award that a football player can receive.
Having said that,
unfortunately, so much of the attention is going to be on those who did not get honored last night. I particularly hate this for Roger Craig, because Roger Craig is the one who did emerge from that group of 5 that included Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
And people are going to look at Roger Craig, and rather than saying he was the first running back ever to have 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing in a season, and only 2 have done it since, and instead of saying, so he completely revolutionized the game.
3-time Super Bowl
one
champion.
of the all-time terrific players on one of the all-time great teams. Instead, people are saying, how do they put Roger Craig in instead of Bill Belichick, which is completely unfair to Roger Craig. So congratulations to him. He richly deserves it.
Absolutely.
The other thing, because we knew that Bill didn't get in and we knew that Bob Kraft didn't get in. Eli Manning, for a second consecutive year, doesn't get into the Hall of Fame. Are you surprised?
I'm not. Definitely a Hall of Famer, but not first ballot, second ballot. He's going to have to wait. We look at Adam Vinatieri. He's responsible for like 3 Super Bowls himself. I know he's a kicker, but Eli's been he had a great story, and Eli's going to get in because of who he beat, and he had a good career, not a great one. It was never a time, in when I was playing or when I looked at Eli where I thought he was top 5 in the league, and that's saying a lot. But what he was clutch when it mattered most.
Yeah.
But it was too much inconsistency in between. Those Giants were either great teams or really bad teams. And when you think about, Hall of Fame quarterbacks, they always have their team at least in the playoffs. And Eli didn't have that, unfortunately. But he'll get in.
It's a tough thing, but I will say this. A person that was consistent, Drew Brees, playing against him a lot, a guy that can go from
Always in the playoffs.
read 1, read 2, read 3, back to read 1 for a touchdown. Yeah. He won a Super Bowl. I get it, Eli has won 2, but from a consistent standpoint and preparing for quarterbacks, you're worried about Drew Brees more so than you're worried about Eli Manning from that standpoint.
And he threw, 5,000 yards 3 or 4 different times. Drew Brees definitely earned and well-deserved. I'll say this about Eli. Like, when you put up his numbers, the things that differentiate him from other quarterbacks being evaluated, he won 7 of 8 games in the playoffs on the road. That's really tough to do. Mm-hmm. 2 Super Bowl wins, 15 touchdowns, only two picks. That's massive in big games, right? So you're talking about being clutch. And then who he beat, right? Brady twice, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers. So when you look at that, that is what you're saying. Like, when you talk about in the biggest moments, because I played with a guy for a number of years. They were like, he's the best regular season of all time, and they framed his career like broken apart. Well, if you're going to break it apart like that, then you can't look at Eli Manning and go, because the guy played better than anybody else when you look at playoffs. It's just, right? So you look at it, the totality of his career. It's just a really hard, and this is what makes the Hall of Fame the Hall of Fame. Is Drew Brees absolutely no-brainer? Unfortunately for Eli, it's not quite yet.
You talk about the consistency in terms of wins and losses, right? He wasn't consistently winning, but it was a consistent organization. They weren't consistently a laughingstock like they became after he left until now. He played a huge
But it
role
held on
in
too
the
long,
leadership and the foundation of that franchise.
Agreed.
Eli Manning is absolutely a Hall of
We don't
Famer.
wanna hate on
One of my
Eli.
many problems with the whole selection process, it shouldn't be about whether Eli Manning is more deserving than Drew Brees or not.
Right.
Drew
Agreed.
Brees, of course, is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest and most accomplished quarterbacks ever. It doesn't change the fact that Eli Manning is also a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's the only quarterback with over 50,000 yards who's eligible to be in the Hall of Fame who isn't. He has 2 Super Bowl rings. The only other quarterback with 2 Super Bowl rings that's not in the Hall of Fame who's eligible is Jim Plunkett.
Yeah.
So everything about this bothers me.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
there's no reason there should be a limit on the number of people. We shouldn't be comparing them to each other. You either are or aren't a Hall of Famer. Eli Manning absolutely is one.
Just a little love to Luke Kuechly. Linebackers have families too.